browser extension Web of Trust just broke ours. Facebook and Snapchat have new filters to distract us from the sad state of the world. And GoPro is recalling its $800 Karma drone because they're falling from the sky. All that and a whole lot more coming up on Tech News Today.
This is Twit.
Bandwidth for Tech News Today is provided by CacheFly at CACHEFLY.com.
This is Tech News Today, episode 1637, recorded Tuesday, November 8th, 2016.
This episode of Tech News Today is brought to you by Rocket Mortgage by Quicken Loans. Rocket Mortgage brings the mortgage process straight into the 21st century with a fast, easy, and completely online process. Check out Rocket Mortgage today at quickenloans.com/TNT.
And by LinkedIn Learning and lynda.com. Develop talent and keep skills current with expert-led on-demand e-learning. To request a demo for your organization or get a free individual trial, visit learning.linkedin.com/twit.
And by Blue Apron. Blue Apron will send you fresh, high-quality ingredients to cook delicious meals with simple, step-by-step instructions right to your door. See what's on the menu this week and get your first 3 meals free with free shipping by going to blueapron.com/twit. That's blueapron.com/twit. Hello, welcome to Tech News Today, the special election edition, wherein we do not speak of the election or politics.
Except to say that you are Hillary and I am Trump.
Yes.
Yeah.
Or I'm Megan Maroney.
Okay, I'm Jason Howell. Let's not even go there because I think we're blanketed with election coverage today, whether we want to follow it or not. We have no choice. But here, this is a respite.
Right. Throw off the blankets.
Yes. And come with me to these technology stories. This is getting weird. A browser extension called Web of Trust Services that allows users to rate sites on trustworthiness and child safety for other users was investigated by German TV channel NDR and found to be selling data it collected on its users to third parties. Not only that, though WOT claims its data was being anonymized before being sold, journalists were actually able to identify more than 50 users with that sample data. The add-on has since been pulled from Firefox and Chrome repositories as a result. In a statement to the Register, a WOT spokesperson said that upon review, its data cleaning techniques didn't appear to be totally sufficient in anonymizing all data that's logged from the extension, go figure, and that it is working on an update so that it can relaunch with improvements to user security, including a way to keep user data private while still using the service. It's just kind of unfortunate that an add-on that is specifically about staying safe online ends up, kind of putting out this information that's easy to, more or less, I don't know exactly how easy it is, but it's possible to be able to identify browsing habits of the people that are using it and identify who they are.
Web of Mistrust, that's what I would say.
Yeah, that should be their new name.
So if you've installed it, you have to manually uninstall it yourself. So go do that right now.
You probably should.
Mozilla pulled it out of the extension store, and then Web of Trust pulled themselves out of other extension stores. It was used crowdsourcing to rate sites based on trustworthiness. Not so trustworthy.
Yeah. So Opera has manually scanned and I think removed it from their index. Although they didn't find it to be insecure. I guess they manually scan most of the add-ons that end up in the Opera kind of marketplace or whatever it's called over there. So they didn't see within the code this to begin with, but they still removed it, as did a bunch of other indexes if they hadn't already. Web of Trust has been around since 2007, so they've been doing this for a long time. 140 million downloads in that time, and they seem pretty darn apologetic in their kind of follow up. So it really does seem like somehow somewhere along the way something was overlooked, and I'm guessing that it was nothing devious. But I suppose who knows?
Yeah, it seems like it was not intentional, but still not very
Still
trustworthy.
not good. Yeah.
9 to 5 Mac reports that Apple is now in the business of selling refurbished iPhones in its store. If you wondered why this is news, it's because they've never done this before. They've sold refurbished iPads, Macs, and other accessories, but this is the first time for iPhones. And I'm just wondering if this signals sort of a more desperation for the company. What do you think, Jason?
I mean, potentially, just from the fact that, everybody is hurting in the mobile space. If you're trying to sell mobile phones, it's not as easy out there, now as it was even a couple of years ago, and especially for Apple that's been doing gangbusters, and now things are just, turned upside down. This is a way to get a few more sales. I mean, they've also, toyed around in the past with lower cost kind of like entry-level iPhones. So it's not outside of the norm for Apple to try and kind of lower the barrier to entry. I think it certainly behooves them to do that, and this is a great way to also just kind of make sure that you're not, you're not being irresponsible in an environmental sort of way. So I think, it, in that regard, it's an Apple-y thing to do.
Yeah, so it's the 6 and the 6S Plus are available. It's 15% off. They did, sell kind of around the bend through eBay. They sold refurbished iPhones. I know they were really trying to push into India. Like they really want that market. And these are the kinds of phones that they would sell there, and they haven't been able to get in there. India is just sort of keeping them out and trying to get people to, keep their dollars in with companies that are local to them. So, maybe this is what they're doing. But it's not a bad deal. It's unlocked, SIM-free, has a brand new battery, and a 1-year warranty. So, you can't
I think
necessarily
that's pretty
get that.
valuable,
Yeah.
actually. And not only that, a 1-year warranty from Apple, which I think carries even more value. Apple's, brand loyalists to Apple, like Apple because they feel like they're a trustworthy, company to buy hardware from. They're going to get this great support if they do that. And so getting that warranty direct from Apple is, I think, a big value on that. When Samsung isn't busy leaking details about next year's flagship Galaxy S8 device, I'm assuming that's happening here, it's still very concerned with public perception of its brand post Note 7 battery debacle. Now the Korean company is taking out full-page apology ads in the Wall Street Journal, the New York Times, and the Washington Post, signed by Samsung Electronics North American President and CEO Gregory Lee. The copy reads, quote, "An important tenet of our mission is to offer best-in-class safety and quality. Recently, we fell short on this promise. For this, we are truly sorry." Ultimately, Samsung says it's dedicated to taking its time and reaching a conclusion as to what caused the battery explosions in the first place, which has me realizing, like, man, it's crazy that they still don't know exactly what happened with all of these different batteries. This has been an ongoing thing. They say in the ad, the apology ad, that they've got the world's best minds working on figuring out this problem, figuring out why all of these batteries were exploding. But it still seems like, at least publicly, they're kind of grasping at straws.
Well, you know what my good friend Justin Bieber says?
Oh, no, I don't,
It's too late to say sorry.
Okay, I didn't know that. I didn't know that.
I won't sing it for everyone's benefit.
Thanks.
You're welcome. It is weird that they don't know what caused it yet, and hopefully they'll get their act together before the 8.
Yeah, the ad does also mention their washing machines, because that's, the battery on the Note 7 is not the only thing that has been going through the whole recall scenario. So Samsung's just kind of very sad, very sorry that its customers are being inconvenienced in this way, and wants you to know that.
We have a lot of sorry companies today.
I know. Everybody's feeling a little down. It's
You know who else is sorry?
Who's that?
GoPro.
Oh.
They just announced a recall of its $800 Karma drone, the one that was supposed to fly them into better earnings during the holiday quarter, the next quarter. The company's recalling 2,500 of these drones. They were all the ones sold since October 23rd, because a few of them, just a few, lost power while in the air and fell to the ground. According to the company, no customers reported injuries or property damage yet.
Kind of feels like it's being a little buried, don't you think?
The story?
This literally just kind of broke a few minutes ago.
I mean, the election is really the big news. Not that we're going to talk about that. But yeah, and they haven't sold very many of them. You think they're burying it on purpose?
Well, I don't know. It just kind of feels that way. Anytime something breaks right now, like this day on November, this time of day on November 8th feels like that's a convenient time to release bad news. I don't know. That's all I'm saying. Probably not going to get as much coverage as it would if it wasn't being released at this point of this day.
Possibly. You're right. I don't know.
And they're doing not so good. GoPro is not having a very good year. So this is not very good news for them to have to recall one of their really big items going into the holiday season.
Yeah, perhaps the Karma drone should just start a TV network and, go that way.
No comment. Project Wing, Alphabet's drone project, shifting to other drones, may be delivering Chipotle burritos to students, but it's not keeping them caffeinated, apparently. Sources to Bloomberg say that Starbucks Corporation was to become a partner in drone delivery of coffee with Project Wing, but Project Wing canceled that arrangement, as well as putting a freeze on hiring and even going so far as to ask some of its staff to look for other jobs within the company. So things not going so hot in Project Wing, apparently. This is only the latest in a string of cutbacks that are hitting various bets within the company as it seeks to focus more on creating actual businesses instead of experiments out of all of these projects. And Dave Voss, who was once the head of Project Wing, actually stepped down in October. Astra Teller took over on an interim basis. But once that happened, it seems like it kind of all happened together. And I've noticed this with Google, and it's probably this way in lots of large companies with major efforts, that if someone's at the head of that and suddenly that someone transitions out, it almost puts a stop to the project, maybe not completely, but maybe completely. Project R is another example of that, where it really seemed like it had for a couple of years, it had all of this progress, and then major, changes happen on the inside, and that really just kind of shuts down that forward progress. And it's like, we're not doing that anymore.
Well, if that's true, then Google appears to be in really bad straits, because Sean Mullaney, who is another Project Wing, he was the commercial executive. He got pushed out. Chris Urmson from Google's self-driving car project, also gone. Tony Fadell from Nest, gone. Bill Maris, Google's VC chief, also left. Moonshots lost $865 million last quarter. So, yeah, it is not looking good for them.
Yeah, I mean, moonshots have never been on the positive. They've always been a losing factor of Alphabet's business.
But one's got to get to the moon, right?
Eventually, you keep shooting for the moon. One of those moonshots got to make it. I hope. Yeah. At least that's what it seems like they're hoping.
Or they will stop shooting, I think, and that's kind of what it looks like they might do.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Yeah, Mark Bergen from Bloomberg broke this story, and we tried to get a hold of him, but he did not. He did not respond to our inquiries. But yeah, I'll be interested, because I like the drone projects.
Mm-hmm. Me too, especially if they're bringing me coffee, because sometimes I'm thirsty for caffeine.
Yeah, especially with your burritos, you need that.
Yep.
After the break, Snapchat has an update to make our world a better place, no matter who the next president of the United States is. But first, let's take a minute to thank Rocket Mortgage by Quicken Loans. They're the sponsor of this episode. Now, if you want to get a mortgage, whether you are about to buy a new home or you want to just refinance the mortgage that you already have, the mortgage process can be kind of daunting. But it doesn't have to be. Rocket Mortgage brings the mortgage process into the 21st century. It's fast, it's powerful, and it's completely online. Rocket Mortgage has taken all the complicated, time-consuming parts of applying for a mortgage out of the equation. All that searching through stacks of old files and paperwork. You never know what you're going to find in there. You don't even have to look. You can easily share your bank statements and your pay stubs with the touch of a button. That helps you get approved in minutes for a custom mortgage solution that's tailored to your unique financial situation. And you can do all of this from your phone or your tablet. You do not need to race all over town. They come to you. It's a quick online process that you can manage from the convenience of your couch. If you're looking to refinance your mortgage or buy a home, check out Rocket Mortgage today at quickenloans.com/TNT. That's quickenloans.com/TNT. Equal housing lender, licensed in all 50 states, NMLSconsumeraccess.org, number 3030. And we thank Rocket Mortgage by Quicken Loans for their support. So as if life in the United States isn't exciting enough today, Snapchat has updated its app, so now you can add filters not just to your selfies, but to everything. Joining us to talk about this is Mike Murphy, reporter at Quartz. Welcome, Mike.
Hey, Megan, how are you?
I'm doing good. I like your background. At first, I thought maybe I was seeing one of the filters there.
Live
but
filter.
That's your Halloween decorations, I think.
Yeah, actually Quartz's Halloween decorations, which we for some reason have left up.
I approve.
You're staying late at the office. I can't imagine why, because we're not talking about politics today. So let me know what's new with the Snapchat update.
So there's a few things. One of the hidden features that was found today was the ability to pair a pair of that sounds weird, of spectacles to the Snapchat app, even though no one knows when they're coming out or when anyone will be able to get them. But then on top of that, there was this whole other inclusion of this new type of filter called the World Lens, which basically allows you to add, kind of similar filters to the ones you had before, where you could add filters to your face, or you could kind of flip the camera and do it to the world, but it didn't work so great. This is essentially like a kind of AR that works on the whole world.
So let's move back to the spectacles. If people aren't familiar with those are the Google Glass like plastic devices that no one can get yet, and we don't know when we're going to be able to get them. So it was just like a hook to pairing them or something that was in there. What's in the update?
So there's literally a section. If you go into the settings now, I think like halfway down, there's literally just a line that says spectacles, and you can click on it, and then it tries to pair with the spectacles over Bluetooth. There's also like a little QR code that it shows that's very similar to the way you can add friends with a snap code. It's pretty much the same idea. So I'm assuming you're either going to be able to pair it like you would a pair of wireless headphones or through a snap code with, I guess, if you're already like wearing the glasses.
So Snapchat is hard to figure out for the older people among us, but I worked hard today.
That's why I stay out of it.
So to get to these world lenses, like to get to the selfie lenses, you just have to press on your face. So I just took a wild guess, and you have to just press on somewhere in the world, and then they appear.
Yes, basically.
Okay.
It's kind of, I don't know why they call them world lens. I don't know, because it just seems weird. Like they call their other filters geo filters. They're big on like world related things, but basically you just kind of long press anywhere when you're in the app looking out, and it should bring up, you should see this kind of like little, almost looks like a webbing for a second across the screen, and then it'll be like options to add filters and stuff. As you can see, I was annoying the heck out of my colleagues today.
I don't know. It looks pretty normal to me.
Yeah.
So
I basically just wrote this so I could make that really bad pun about Dave's name.
Well,
I'm glad.
My old man eyeballs are too
orange.
Okay, all right.
Mike, I'm glad that you, like me, like to take the Snapchat filters and then post them on Twitter. I think there should be a name for us, those people that do that. It's like
Rebels.
I don't really, like, here's one. Leo's office was snowing and I posted it on Twitter. Because I just don't trust that anyone's watching my Snapchat, and I need to know that people are, I need
you need
confirmation.
That feedback.
I need
That's what
likes
separates you from the normal Snapchat user, I have a feeling.
I mean, to be fair, I know that nobody's looking at mine. I got like 30 friends on Snapchat, but it's still fun. And that's why I post them on Twitter. Especially about stuff like when I go back out into the main newsroom in a second and everyone's looking at the election, there will definitely be some Snapchat filters happening in a bit.
Excellent. So do we know when we should be seeing these spectacles? Because I feel like, I think Evan, back when they were announced, is sometime like in autumn or ish, right around there. We're firmly into that. I guess seeing it in the app kind of gives the clue that it's probably right around the corner, I would guess.
I would think so. I think it's kind of, I don't know if it's unprecedented, but it's definitely odd for a company to add that kind of functionality to their app before the hardware is available.
Right.
Like, it'd be weird. I guess like Apple may have put the Apple Watch app on your phone a day or two before the watch was available, but like we don't even have any indication of when these are coming out. And, I spoke to Snapchat or Snap, and they declined to answer or give any kind of update. So it seems weird, but I mean, given it's there, unless they're like, to me, it seems really weird. Like if there were people at the company who are using these, they would just have their own like, private beta testing version of the app where they could test out the app. So presumably if they're knocking it out to the public, they're going to be available soon, but it just seems odd.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you'd think before the holiday season.
Yeah. Sure.
So the world lenses are just available on iOS for now, right?
I believe so.
Okay. And so how long, Snapchat filters they can be sold. There's advertising. It's fun to make your face into a taco. And lots of people don't mind that it's sponsored by Taco Bell. When do you think, do you think it's not long until our world lenses are also sponsored, and then basically we'll have advertising all over our worlds?
We'll be living in McDonald's even when we're not there.
Some of us, they already do. I don't know.
It's true.
But no, so there were actually a few sponsor ones today. The Daily Show had one for the election. And this is something I asked Snapchat to clarify, but they didn't give me an answer. I don't know if that's beeping. That's creepy. But they basically said that, they didn't say, but what I want to know is whether when you're looking through the glasses, you're actually seeing the augmented world already, or if you're just
Are you okay?
There's a fire alarm going off.
I'm afraid
I know
for you.
Snapchat is important, but
exactly what it is. Stop in 2 seconds. I wrote in here on a hoverboard, and it was just telling me that it was turning off.
I thought your like blood pressure was rising.
So that was the sound of your hoverboard turning off?
Yeah. See, look.
Okay. Oh
okay, I believe you now.
All right. Okay, now that we understand that, I'm definitely going to ask you my next question, which is I was doing some research into this, and what I read was that there's some shame in Snapchat filters. There's some shaming. Like, I guess it's not cool to have your profile picture as a Snapchat filter. And you, hoverboard riding, bearded man from Brooklyn, is it cool or not?
Well, I'm not that cool. I live in Astoria, so
okay.
I don't know. But you mean on Facebook or Twitter or other social networks?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I've definitely seen some people do it. I have definitely noticed that a lot of people on Tinder seem to do it, which is interesting. That seems like a weird place to do it, but I haven't seen a lot of shaming. But also, I am old. I'm officially old now, so I don't know. Maybe the kids today are that should stay on Snapchat. It's private, that sort of thing. That's the whole reason so many people like it, other than the fact that it's fun, is that it disappears and it's just kind of, atemporal in that regard. But I don't know. I had my profile picture on Facebook for forever was a Prisma, photo that had been messed up. And my Twitter profile is a network connection icon from Windows 98. So I don't know. What's cool.
And still, you tweeted today that you get mistaken for a Republican pundit, a conservative pundit named Mike Murphy.
I don't get that. I mean, literally in my bio, it's I am a tech reporter for Quartz. My icon is a network icon. I don't know how that screams Jeb Bush enthusiast, but apparently it does.
Well, thank you for telling us about the update in Snapchat and telling me what's cool and what's not, and that you're old. So,
and I'm really happy that wasn't a bomb waiting to explode and that you're still alive. Thank you, Mike.
Take care. Mike Murphy is a reporter at Quartz. He is at MCWM on Twitter. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks again, Mike. Have a good night. All right, Raul wrote into TNT@twit.tv to say, I heard you talking about how great absentee voting is for people who can't easily get to the polls on a Tuesday. I thought it was worth mentioning that early voting is also an option for most people. With early voting, you still get to vote in person, but most states give you a few weeks leading up to the election to get out and vote. 34 states offer no excuse needed early voting. I never really trusted mail-in ballots, so I'm really excited that early in-person voting is becoming so widespread. Incidentally, California had early in-person voting from October 10th to November 7th, but each state is different. It's a good idea to check with your state's website to find out when and where to vote. I know this is all too late to help anybody this election. It's just something to keep in mind next time around. And I'm pretty sure, this is me speaking now, I'm pretty sure that's the last thing we have in this show that has anything to do with the election.
Okay. If all goes as it seems to be going, we will have another election someday, I think.
I'm guessing that will probably happen.
I believe that democracy will still exist after tomorrow, no matter what happens. So
life goes on. Mm-hmm. Coming up next, even more news to discuss, including the influx of ad chatbots inside Facebook Messenger. Even Messenger isn't safe. But first, let's take a minute to thank LinkedIn Learning and lynda.com. They are the sponsor of this episode. The shelf life of skills is less than 5 years. Many of today's fastest growing categories didn't even exist 5 years ago. LinkedIn acquired lynda.com to bring you LinkedIn Learning. It's personalized, expert-led, on-demand e-learning from LinkedIn. LinkedIn Learning will identify the precise skills that you or your organization needs to achieve set goals and will create personalized recommendations using LinkedIn Network Intelligence. Administrators are able to track learner adoption and engagement with at-a-glance analytics and downloadable reports. You'll have access to more than 9,000 courses. They're taught by world-class industry experts, whether you're interested in web design, IT infrastructure, business management, or marketing. Their library offers a wide range of business, creative, and technology courses. More than 25 courses are added every single week. So you've got all sorts to choose from, such as iOS 10 app development essentials and learning Photoshop Elements 15. You've got topics like technical recruiting, strategic HR, small business marketing fundamentals, media training, inside sales, iOS game development, video editing, which I've used that plenty of times here at Twit, and more. You can learn anytime, anywhere with segments that can be viewed on any device, online or offline. LinkedIn Learning accommodates all learning styles. You can actually read through course transcripts and closed captions. You can watch video tutorials, listen on the go. They have bite-sized videos that provide immediate problem solving and are the perfect way to brush up on relevant skills without interrupting your latest project. Team solutions are available as well for as low as $2,000 per year. Grow your network and your career. Visit learning.linkedin.com/twit to get a free individual trial or request a demo for your organization. That's learning.linkedin.com/twit. We thank LinkedIn Learning for their support of Tech News Today. All right, so your Facebook news feed is now about to be home to ads that will move you into a conversation with commercial chatbots inside Messenger. For example, you click on an ad in your news feed for H&M, let's say. That puts you into a chat with H&M's chatbot in Messenger to answer questions and hopefully sell you that swimsuit. You'll also begin to see sponsored messages inside Messenger from advertisers that you've had some sort of communication with in the past. We've talked about that a number of times on the show in the past about how like advertisers using the network would behoove them to get in touch with you prior to this switch. That way that stream of communication is open once it actually happens. Well, now it's happening. So if you've had any sort of contact with these brands inside Facebook, suddenly now you're friends. You're friends on Messenger. You can chat with them anytime you want. What do you think?
It's happening.
Oh, finally.
You can block the messages you don't want to see.
Good.
But, you know, that doesn't, of course, like you can block spam, but you still got to see it.
Right.
At first.
Got to be bothered by it first.
Yeah, I know. So, you know, we've been talking a lot about Facebook filters because we're trying to form a distraction to everyone today. But, you know, I think that these Facebook Messenger ads Facebook filters will lead to ads. It's going to be ads everywhere.
Mm-hmm. Does that sound awesome? Do users want ads everywhere?
Well, no. I mean, who wants that? Who wants ads everywhere? Nobody.
But I
does.
suppose services are free, and so they have to sell it somehow, and that's how they're going to do it. Facebook sees the news feed as being for discovery of the things you want, at least in the case of this, for being the discovery mechanism for, oh, I really like that, I want that. And Messenger would be kind of how you actually act on that and purchase through Messenger. I just don't know how many people are programmed or at least in the habit of this yet. I guess they're not yet because it's only just starting. But this whole chatbot thing had many promises, earlier this year. And I still don't know that many people that really kind of communicate with or buy things or negotiate very much, with brands and stuff through chatbots. I don't really hear very much about how active it actually is, just that companies like Facebook want you to do it.
Yeah, the promise is amazing. Who doesn't want to not talk to more people?
But I don't know if I want to talk to bots either, because I don't know. My experience with bots has never been super rosy either.
Yeah, mine hasn't either. But yeah, I don't know. I don't love Facebook Messenger. I used it because that was the only way that, for some reason, I could get a hold of Leo. And now, he's accepted my iMessages, so now I don't use it really at all.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I think that we're going to see more advertising. I just think that's where we are.
Yep.
The Instagram, I don't know if we reported this story, but last week, Instagram, announced that they were going to have more Shop Now buttons, and it's not even what you would want. Like if you posted an Instagram picture of yourself in that shirt, and I think, oh, that's a nice shirt. I want a shirt like that. Like that might be nice,
you.
but I mean, right now it is a nice shirt.
Thank you.
This show is not sponsored by your shirt.
That's true.
But I would like that, like just being able to buy the things that I see. But that's not the way it works. It's just advertisers saying like, okay, here's this advertising, and I'm going to make it even easier for you to buy it.
Yeah.
Prisma, the Russian app that lets you turn photos and videos into art using deep learning, is now available in Facebook Live. So if you have nothing interesting to say when you're live streaming yourself, at the very least, you can be arty about it. The option to use one of Prisma's 8 filters is only available to iPhone 6 and 7 users. They say this technique is called style transfer. It takes the artistic qualities of one image and like a Van Gogh painting and then applies it to other images. So I don't know if I'd want to see that on my Facebook Live feed.
No, here I am,
totally creepy.
Live streaming this thing for 20 minutes using the single filter. Not too much of a good thing, no? I don't know what it is about. So I love Prisma, and I love the kind of idea behind it for still photos. Anytime I see video moving through this thing, it seems to cheapen it for me. And I don't think it looks very good. So I don't know. And I couldn't imagine watching a whole live stream through that.
Yeah.
Or why would you? I mean, I guess it's one of those things where, well, you can. It's possible, so we made it possible, but I don't know how many people are going to actually do that.
Just because you can do something does not mean you should do it. I've seen a music video.
Yeah,
and
I saw
found,
one. That was cool.
That was interesting. But just talking, I don't know. Maybe we should Prisma this whole episode and see if we get more subscribers. Then we'll know.
It's just like Van Gogh. To my eye, I'm used to seeing a Van Gogh, let's say, as an image, and then you put it into motion, and then it just looks like a cheap filter to me. It doesn't look as unique and creative. Facebook also, by the way, has been showing off the last couple of weeks, and I guess this is available in Ireland. They have their own version of this kind of like neural network Prisma-like painting of photos, and it's going to work on video as well once they push it out. They're bringing it to the Facebook app outside of Ireland at some point. It's called Style Transfer, and it's basically the same thing for the most part. So Prisma's obviously kind of getting one-upping Facebook and pushing this out now to kind of get a head start, it seems like.
Frosted Cookies in our chat room said it will only be a matter of time till someone cuts off their ear on a Facebook live streaming with the Van Gogh filter.
Oh, don't lie.
Although amusing, do not do that.
Yeah, don't do that. That's not a good idea. We told you about the Linux vulnerability called Dirty Cow that has existed in the Linux kernel as far back as 2007. Android also runs on the Linux kernel, of course. So when would the Android OS get the update? It turns out not with this month's security update that just released to Android users, though Android security patches now happen on a monthly basis. SVP of Android Hiroshi Lockheimer told Ars Technica last month in an unrelated interview, I believe it was unrelated anyways, I think it was just a general purpose interview, that patches first go to partners and then go to Google's Android devices a month later. So I think that's like the patch gets introduced in and then makes it up, which just makes me realize like, that should really be faster. Like they've known about this for a month. This is a pretty large scale vulnerability. Why is it going to take 2 months? I don't know. Am I asking too much?
Yeah, no. So December?
Okay. I'm not.
December? We're not getting this till December?
Well, apparently, because the security update just pushed out, and if what Hiroshi Lockheimer is saying means that it's kind of like a 2-month lead time from discovery to pushing it out to all devices that can get that security update, yeah, it would be 2 months. So not this security update, but next security update. I just would have assumed that something like this would be faster than that. I don't know.
And especially because, that was the promise of the Pixel, right? Like you'll get the updates sooner.
You do. If for the changes that are actually within that update. So I do get those updates sooner. It's just I'm not getting that update because it's not in there.
So you'll get that in December. Everybody else will get it in 2018.
Yeah, there is some truth to that. Not everybody, but a lot.
Okay.
Yeah.
TNT's fan of the day is Jason Wynn on Twitter, who says, using the Twit Roku app to watch at Tech News Today TV. And yes, this is my Twit brick.
Oh, what's the brick say? It says, enhance, Jason Wynn, go big blue.
So I was not around during the brick days. If you bought a brick, did you get also to keep a brick? Were there 2 bricks, or did someone?
That was a separate option,
okay.
says Burke.
Okay.
Yeah, I couldn't remember that either. I was like, man, did everyone that bought a brick got a brick? But I didn't think that was necessarily the case. So I think for an extra you could.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, those are sturdy.
Well,
you
whether
don't
or
want
not
that to drop on your toe.
No.
It's a real brick.
If you have a brick or you don't have a brick, show us how you watch or listen to TNT. Just record a video, take a picture of yourself or your setup, post it on Instagram, Google+, Twitter, or Facebook. Use the hashtag HowIWatchTNT, and we are going to find it. After the break, Elwood Edwards is now an Uber driver. Who is Elwood Edwards? You have to stick around to find out, or you could just Google it, but where's the fun in that? Let's take a minute to thank Blue Apron, the sponsor of this episode. Blue Apron's mission is to make incredible home cooking accessible to everyone, while at the same time supporting a more sustainable food system, setting the highest standards for ingredients, and building a community of home chefs. Blue Apron delivers seasonal recipes along with fresh, high-quality ingredients to make delicious home-cooked meals. Each meal comes with a step-by-step, easy-to-follow recipe card and pre-portioned ingredients that can be prepared in 40 minutes or less. You can save time and money. Shopping at the grocery store is 60% more expensive than Blue Apron. You can now spend under $10 per person for healthy home-cooked meals. You can customize your recipes every week based on your dietary preferences and choose a delivery option that fits your needs. There's no weekly commitment, so you can only get deliveries when you want them. Blue Apron delivers to 99% of the continental U.S. Blue Apron sets the highest quality standards for their community of over 150 local farms, fisheries, and ranchers across the United States. Seafood is sourced sustainably. Beef is raised humanely. Chickens are free-range. Pork is raised naturally. And by shipping the exact amount required for the recipe, Blue Apron is reducing food waste. So whether it's Japanese ramen noodles, wild-caught Alaskan salmon, or heirloom tomatoes, Blue Apron brings you the best. Blue Apron not only supports a more sustainable food system, it supports happy and healthy families. Cooking together builds strong family bonds, and research shows that Blue Apron families cook nearly 3 times more often. New recipes are created every week by Blue Apron's culinary team and are not repeated within a year. Pan-seared chicken with roasted fall vegetables and butter caper sauce. Spicy lotus root and purple carrot stir-fry with sweet potato noodles, lemongrass, roasted pork with Romanesco cauliflower and coconut rice. That's all
I
on
love
the menu.
Romanesco cauliflower. It's so good.
So check out this week's menu and get your first 3 meals free with free shipping by going to blueapron.com/twit. You will love how good it feels and tastes to create incredible home-cooked meals with Blue Apron. So do not wait. Visit blueapron.com/twit. And we thank Blue Apron for their support of Tech News Today. Blue Apron, a better way to cook.
Also, you should really Google Romanesco broccoli or cauliflower if you've never seen it before. It's really cool looking.
Is it?
Do that.
Can you put like a filter on it? Like
you
a
could,
Prisma
but you
filter?
don't need to. It's like that. It's like it has a filter on it already. You can get lost in it. It's really cool. Look it up. I'm serious.
And now
There it is.
Okay.
Just get lost in it. Man, it's like you're in another
Yes.
world, another dimension. It's like you could zoom in forever onto that cauliflower broccoli. And it tastes good.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
And now for our Where Are They Now Tech Edition. Time.com reports that one woman got the Uber ride of her life when she figured out who her very special driver was. Let's watch that video.
Here we go.
Yes.
And he just told me something very special, that he's the voice behind.
Welcome. You've got mail.
No way! Do it again. Do it again.
Welcome. You've got mail.
Yay!
That's
What's
right.
your
That
name?
is the voice
Elwood Edwards.
of Elwood Edwards.
Thank you, Elwood.
Thank you.
You bet.
At least
That's the man who, for many of us, announced our first emails ever. The first email messages of our lives.
I associate, God, did I ever actually have AOL? I'm not sure that I did, but I know that clip very well. But I associate like his voice with CDs coming in snail mail, basically.
Did
And
you
lots
always?
of them.
Did you put them
All
in there?
What?
Did you put them in your computer and just?
Yeah, back then we didn't do it. We didn't practice safe data back then. We just got those CDs in the mail. We put them right in our computer and loaded them up and went, oh wow, it's a free program.
So you don't remember? You'd remember if you had an AOL account.
No, I don't think that I
I'm
ever had
thinking
an
that you did.
AOL account.
So you never got mail.
I never got mail like that.
You've got mail.
Thank you.
You've got mail.
Although his voice now sounds a little bit well, that sounds pretty like bit crushed, but
Yeah.
it sounds a little raspier now.
You've got mail.
Thanks.
The story of
I'll check the
Elwood.
mail later.
The story
AOL.
of Elwood Edwards is a good one. I mean, they just were like, oh, maybe we could have a voice that maybe it would sound better with someone. And there was a woman who was working in the product department. And she was like, my husband does voice overs. And then the story of Elwood Edwards was born.
And continues to this day.
Yeah. And now he's an Uber driver. I hope that she gave him a big tip for making him say it. So
I
often.
know. That's the thing. When I watched that video, I was kind of like, oh, man, I hope, he's a trooper for playing along, but I hope he's cool with that. But I don't know. I'm guessing she didn't guess it. Like, oh, yeah, your voice really sounds like that AOL guy. Like, he probably told her, right? I don't know.
Yeah, she was probably like we all do in the Uber, asking questions about what they did before and what they do too. And then,
Like we all do in Uber. We ask them about how they became an Uber driver and what it's like to work for Uber. That's pretty much all you talk about when you're in an Uber. It's true. Any Uber that I've ever been in, that's where it ends up. TNT records live every Monday through Friday at 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern, 11 p.m. UTC at twit.tv/live. You can be part of the show by emailing us at tnt@twit.tv. You can leave us a short voicemail at 260-TNT-SHOW and find us on Twitter. We're at Tech News Today TV.
Wish your friends a Merry Twitmas with our very own ugly Christmas sweater design. We're offering this exclusive design. It's not actually a sweater, so it's a sweatshirt or a tank top. You can grab yours before November 23rd at teespring.com/Twitmas and subscribe to our show. You can find all the ways at twit.tv/TNT. And if you want to tweet at me about what you say when you're in an Uber, I'm at Megan Maroney.
And I'm at Jason Howell. Thanks to our technical director, Kara Cole. Thanks to Burke for everything. Thanks to Kevin for editing. And thanks to you for talking tech with us today. And we'll see y'all tomorrow. Bye, everyone.